Wanted to spend a little time just highlighting our excitement about the passage of House Bill 1910, which is obviously one of our caucus agenda items, which is our infrastructure long-range capital planning plan. And frankly, what I'm most excited about is that this commission is going to have control over the maintenance of state buildings and the revolving fund that we created last session to begin frankly addressing the state needs as it relates to buildings, and they'll have the authority to make expenditures to pay for the upkeep of existing state assets. As the commission will have to prepare each year an annual capital budget plan for addressing the state's capital needs over the next 8 years. And so what we've done, we've modeled this plan on the idea of the 8-year plan that ODOT has constructed. And we think this will begin the idea of how we move forward in setting the foundation for an 8-year pay-as-you-go plan for addressing the state needs like the state capitol building on assets and buildings. We're certainly the only one, I think, coming forward at this point with a plan that doesn't involve bonds, and this lays the foundation for that. Wanted to make sure that we understand that as part of this bill, we're going to be also consolidating 4 boards, and as this bill continues to make its way through the process, we'll be visiting more, again, having some follow-up conversations to make sure that these boards are in fact the right ones, and maybe there are more boards to consolidate as well. But it'll be the Building Bonds Commission, the State Capital Preservation Commission, Capital Medical Center Improvement and Zoning Authority, and the State Facility Capital Needs Committee.
We have, at the Office of Management Enterprise Services, been reviewing the underutilized property list for about 2 months in earnest now, and we've already identified at least 2 or 3 dozen properties that we believe should be considered for sale by this commission should the bill come into law. And we're going to be continuing to look at hundreds more properties over the next couple months to try to add to that list with the idea of selling the properties that we don't need and using those funds to pay for the properties that we do need.
We've already set a pretty good foundation there, and obviously that was initially done through the appropriations process, and that's, I think, what opened up the door for later on looking at other funding mechanisms. But for our purposes here today, we wanted to highlight the importance and the value of the Long Range Capital Planning Commission and how it's going to begin the discussion of prioritizing state buildings and assets and how we begin to address those needs.